I found the receipt on a Thursday morning, crumpled between the couch cushions like a forgotten confession. Bella Vista Restaurant, table for two, 127.50, Tuesday, March 15th. Tuesday. The same Tuesday I'd been home with food poisoning, barely able to keep water down. The same Tuesday Emma had texted me that she was working late again, the third time that week. My name is David Chen, and I thought I understood my wife. I was wrong about everything. We met in college, both journalism majors with dreams bigger than our bank accounts. Emma had this laugh that could fill a room, this way of tilting her head when she was really listening that made you feel like the most important person in the world. She'd wear my oversized sweaters to morning classes, her dark hair messy from sleep, and I'd think I was the luckiest guy alive. We got married right after graduation, a small ceremony in her parents' backyard. She looked stunning in her grandmother's dress, altered to fit her perfectly. During our vows, she promised we'd always be honest with each other, that we'd face whatever came together. No secrets, she whispered against my ear during our first dance. Never any secrets between us. For 8 years, I believed her. The changes started small. Emma worked as a freelance writer, mostly corporate communications and marketing copy. She'd always been passionate about her work, but suddenly she was passionate about specific clients in ways that felt different. "I'm meeting with the Morrison account again tomorrow," she'd say, and there would be this light in her eyes that I hadn't seen in months when she talked about our own plans. "That's the third time this week," I'd reply, and she'd shrug. "Big project, lots of moving parts." The Morrison account, always the Morrison account. David Morrison, CEO of some tech startup that was apparently revolutionizing something or other. Emma had landed the contract 6 months ago, and initially I'd been proud. It was her biggest client to date, good money, challenging work. But then came the late nights, the weekend calls, the way she'd smile at her phone during dinner, then quickly flip it face down when she caught me looking. "Just work stuff," she'd say. The same phrase, over and over. Just work stuff. I started paying attention to things I'd previously ignored. The new perfume she wore to client meetings, the way she'd suddenly developed opinions about wine when she'd never cared before, the expensive lingerie that appeared in our laundry, pieces I'd never seen her wear for me. "Where's this from?" I asked one morning, holding up a black lace bra that must have cost more than our grocery budget. "Oh, that old thing? I've had it forever." She didn't even look up from her coffee, but the tags were still on it. I know because I checked. The night everything changed was a Friday in March. Emma said she was meeting Morrison for a working dinner to finalize some campaign materials. She'd be home late. Don't wait up. I decided to surprise her. I knew she'd been stressed, working so hard, and I thought maybe I could bring her favorite Thai food to wherever they were meeting. She'd mentioned the Bella Vista before. Apparently Morrison liked their quiet atmosphere for business discussions. I got there around 8:30, takeout bags in hand, expecting to find my wife hunched over a laptop with some middle-aged businessman, both of them surrounded by marketing materials and coffee cups. Instead, I found her leaning across a candlelit table, her hand covering his, laughing at something he'd whispered. No laptops in sight, no papers, just wine glasses and intimate conversation, and my wife looking at another man the way she used to look at me. David Morrison wasn't middle-aged. He was probably 35, with the kind of easy confidence that comes from never having to worry about money. He was handsome in that casual way that men in expensive suits manage to be. And when Emma actually touched his face, I felt something inside me break. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds, holding bags of pad thai and spring rolls, watching my wife be in love with someone else. Then I turned around and drove home. Emma came back around midnight, humming softly as she hung up her coat. I was sitting in the dark living room, still in my work clothes, the untouched takeout containers on the coffee table. "How was your meeting?" I asked. She startled, not expecting me to be awake. "Oh, it was fine. Productive. We got a lot done." "What kind of work requires holding hands?" The silence stretched between us like a chasm. Emma stood frozen by the coat closet, and I could see her mind racing, trying to decide between truth and another lie. She chose the lie. "I don't know what you're talking about, David. I think you might be reading too much into—" I was there. My voice sounded calm, which surprised me. I brought you dinner. I saw you with him. Emma's face crumpled, not with guilt, but with something that looked almost like relief, like she'd been holding her breath for months and could finally exhale. David, I can explain. Are you in love with him? The question hung in the air. Emma opened her mouth, closed it, then sat down heavily on the couch beside me. Yes, she whispered. I think I am. The next 3 hours were the worst of my life, not because of what Emma told me, but because of what she didn't tell me. The careful way she edited her confession, trying to minimize the damage while still claiming honesty. Yes, she'd been seeing Morrison for 4 months. Yes, it had become physical. No, she hadn't meant for it to happen. Yes, she still loved me. No, she couldn't promise to stop seeing him. It's not just about the sex, she said, as if that would somehow make it better. We connect intellectually. We want the same things. We have the same goals. What goals? I asked. What goals could you possibly have with him that you don't have with me? She looked at me with something that might have been pity. David, you're a good man. You're kind and stable and you love me, but you don't challenge me. You don't make me want to be better. I make you want to be better. You make me want to be comfortable. That's different. I think that's when I realized our marriage had been over for longer than either of us had admitted. Maybe years, maybe since the beginning, and we'd just been too young and too hopeful to notice. The divorce papers were filed 3 weeks later. Emma didn't fight me on anything, the house, the savings account, even the custody arrangement for our dog. She seemed almost eager to shed the remnants of our life together. I never wanted to hurt you, she said as we signed the final documents. I know that doesn't make it better, but I need you to know that. But you did hurt me, I replied. Every day for 4 months, you chose to hurt me. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Emma married David Morrison 8 months later. I know because I saw the announcement in the local paper, a small item in the society section. They looked happy in the photo, both of them grinning at the camera in expensive-looking clothes. I felt nothing when I saw it. Not anger, not sadness, not even the dull ache I'd been carrying around for months. Just nothing. That's when I realized I'd already let go. 2 years later, I ran into Emma at a coffee shop downtown. She was alone, reading a book, and she looked older somehow, more tired. The light that had attracted me to her in college was dimmed, replaced by something more subdued. David, she said when she saw me. Hi. Emma, how are you? Good, I'm good. You? Good. We stood there awkwardly, two people who'd once promised to grow old together, now struggling to make small talk. I heard about your promotion, she said finally. Editor-in-chief, that's wonderful. Thanks, I heard about the divorce. Her marriage to Morrison had lasted 18 months. According to mutual friends, he'd started seeing someone else before their first anniversary. Someone younger, someone who worked at his company. Yeah, well, she shrugged. Turns out some people don't change. They just find new targets. I wanted to feel satisfaction at her admission, some sense of vindication. Instead, I felt sad for both of us. For the naive kids who'd gotten married in her parents' backyard, believing love was enough to overcome anything. I'm sorry, I said and meant it. Me too, for all of it. I think about that conversation sometimes, especially when I'm tempted to be bitter about what happened. Emma made her choice, and she has to live with the consequences. But so do I. The difference is I chose to build something new from the wreckage. I threw myself into my work, got the promotion I'd been chasing for years. I started dating again, carefully and slowly, learning to trust my instincts about people. Last month I met someone. Sarah's a teacher, divorced like me, with a 10-year-old daughter who makes me laugh. She's nothing like Emma, quieter, more grounded, less concerned with chasing whatever she thinks she's missing. I don't need you to challenge me, she said on our third date. I need you to support me. There's a difference. Maybe that's what I learned from losing Emma. That love isn't about constantly proving yourself worthy. It's about choosing to be worthy, every day, in small ways that matter. Emma taught me what betrayal feels like. Sarah is teaching me what trust feels like. I know which one I prefer. The receipt from Bella Vista is still in my wallet, folded and worn from 2 years of carrying it around. I'm not sure why I keep it. Maybe as a reminder of the night my old life ended, or maybe just as proof that sometimes the most devastating discoveries come wrapped in the most ordinary moments. Either way, it reminds me that the weight of silence can be heavier than the weight of truth, and that sometimes the most unexpected decision isn't revenge or reconciliation. Sometimes it's simply choosing to forgive yourself for not seeing what was right in front of you all along.